Right, now, all right, we're recording. So, welcome. This is our Holt virtual tour, and so kind of what we're going to do tonight. We'll just kind of go through just introductions, quick welcome of who all is here today, do a program overview, and then a lot of times it's kind of kindergarten parents here. So we'll kind of go through kindergarten. What grades did you have, Rebecca?
Let's see, I have 6 and 4-year-old now, but we would be looking at kindergarten. We'd be interested in kindergarten, entry kindergarten. So,
Okay,
and
yeah.
Probably 3rd grade eventually.
Okay. All right. So we will go over our kindergarten information then here tonight, and then just see if you have any questions. And usually we do a guided tour if you're here for the in-person tour, but for this one we just do the talking about the school instead. So if you can go ahead and go to the next slide there, and so first off we'll just go across the top and then the bottom. And so I'm Alan Chen. I'm the principal here at Holt. This is my 5th year here at Holt, and before that I was principal at Holt Elementary School for 8 years. Before that, I was principal at the Japanese Immersion School for 5 years. And before that, I was an assistant principal. And before that, I taught 3rd grade and was a Title I coordinator as well, too. And I'll let Rebecca introduce herself.
Good evening. My name is Rebecca Boyd. I'm the assistant principal of Bertha Holt Elementary, a phenomenal school. This is my 1st year at Bertha Holt. Before that, I was an instructional coach for our district and a staff development specialist and a kindergarten teacher for our district as well. So I'm excited to be here tonight and welcome. We're excited for you to learn about our wonderful school.
All right. And then Robin.
Hi, I'm Robin Vaughn, and I teach kindergarten. I've been teaching for 18 years. Some of it was at a school with Mr. Chin at Howard, but I've taught kindergarten mostly, small group reading, Title I, and 3rd grade, 4th and 5th. So, but mostly in kindergarten.
All right. And Megan.
Hello, I am Megan Travis, and I am the school counselor at Holt. This is my 2nd year back at Holt, but I've been in education for almost 25 years, most of that in early education. I've taught preschool, kindergarten before, so hopefully I get to meet your kiddos.
And Kim McManus, because we have 2 Kims here.
Oh, good point. Well, I am clearly the first Kim. No. Hi, I'm Kim McManus. I'm the Student Success Coordinator, and I have an unusual title. My role is helping support kids with behavior challenges and then also helping connect all the dots for families, if they're needing things. So we're glad to have you here, Rebecca. And then I think I'm turning it over maybe to the other fabulous Kim.
Yes.
My name is Kimberly Brown, and I am the PTO president this year. I currently have a 2nd grader and a kindergartner in 2026, hopefully. And I new this year am also a substitute educational assistant at Holt.
Yeah, so Kimberly gets to see behind the scenes this year. You get to look behind the curtain.
I do. Yes, I do.
All right, go ahead, go to the next slide. And so just, that's kind of like our official program description there. But really, I mean, we want it to be, the short version is we want to send good people out into the world. It's not just about reading and writing. We really want to send good little humans out there in the world. And if you go to the next slide, our school is Bertha Holt Elementary School, and so we're named after Bertha Holt, who was the founder of Holt International Agency. And we really try to kind of carry on her mission about just giving back to the community, encouraging volunteerism, and really just, again, sending good people out into the world. And then what makes Holt the best? Here's what some kids have said, if you want to click through this here. So we have raffles and assemblies that make school fun. We have great teachers. They make school fun and make sure we feel safe. We have events like the Holt Bolt where kids get to be active and get outside. That's our jogathon, but kids really like that. We have a buddy bench outside that helps kids make new friends. Our lunch bunch ladies are fun and make amazing lunches. We have a garden. We have a really big library. And we have classroom buddies where older kids and younger kids get together, and it's fun because the younger kids get to make big buddies and the older kids get to be kind of mentors. So it's pretty cool. And then just a few other highlights I want to mention. We do have Megan's our full-time school counselor. We also have on-site therapists as well, which is nice. They come once a week. We also have done have virtual ones that we've done for some students as well. We have licensed and classified behavior specialists, so that's always really helpful for keeping the school safe and helping kids who are struggling. We have Title I supports for students who need an extra boost in reading and math. We also have TAG, the talented and gifted, for students who are advanced, depending where your kids are at. And then we also have on-site childcare, YMCA and BEST. They're here after school. That's a program that's available to families if they need after school care. We also have full-time PE and music teachers, so kids get PE 30 minutes twice a week. They get music 30 minutes twice a week. And we also added this year, or actually last year, getting library every week as well too, with a full-time librarian. And then we also, all kids get free breakfast and lunch, which is nice. And we have a great, well-stocked library, and we are one of only 3 schools in 4J that has full-time licensed librarians, so that's nice. We also just have lots of community and family volunteers, so if you're able and interested and want to volunteer in school, we have lots of opportunities to do that in classrooms, or if you're somebody who'd rather not work with kids but still wants to work in school, you can do that, helping, making copies and doing production, or helping the library, reshelving books and things like that. We're also a certified green school, so we do composting. We have our school garden. So we just try to encourage kids to take care of the environment. And we also have one-to-one iPads, so every student gets their own iPad. And we do try to integrate technology into instruction each day, so they have to use it for a little bit, and we try to just use it as a tool. It's not really like we're teaching technology. They just get to use it at some point during the day. Kindergarten, not as much, but in other grades, they do use it because we want kids to be digitally literate, and that's something that's important to us. And then we some enrichment things that we have going on in the building. We have Oregon Battle of Books for 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders, where they make teams and they can battle books. It's something that Oregon does, where there's like a list of 6 or 12 books that kids across the state can read if they want to be part of it. And each school forms a group of teams, and then like the best team in each school gets to compete in regionals against other teams. And so it's a pretty fun thing, and we just started it right now for this year, but it's always really fun. Kids look forward to it. And I'm going to see this year, I was going to check with our librarian, Robbie, to see if he wanted to have our final battle to decide if it maybe at an assembly, it might be a fun thing to do and have the kids see that. We also have a student council for 4th and 5th grade, so students kind of get their say. Chocolate milk has been one of their big battles. The school district has taken away chocolate milk, and our student council has written a lot of letters and invited school board members to come and hear what they have to say about getting chocolate milk back. And they did actually back off a little bit. Now we do get chocolate milk on Mondays and Fridays, but they still want it every day, so they're making headway. And every year we always do an artist in residence. This year we're doing a tie-dye artist in residence. This is pretty fun. They were here during summer school, we were pretty impressed. So we wanted to have brought them back for all the kids this year, but we do a different one every year. We also have after-school enrichment programs, like we have chess, we have a strings program, we've had choir, a lot, so different after-school programs if families are interested in doing that for your kids. We do monthly spirit days. This is an interesting when the student council picked this month, which is dress as your favorite holiday. So I don't know if kids totally will understand it, but we'll see. And I'm going to pick for my holiday, talk like a pirate day and wear an eye patch is my plan. We also have Book Nook, which is kind of fun. That's something our parent group runs, but it's like a book exchange kids can do twice a month, where they can go and bring a book and trade it in for another one. So it's a fun program for kids, just getting new books in kids' hands. And there's always other new exciting things, and I'm sure there's a bunch of fun stuff I'm forgetting about. But the best thing about Holt is we have a great staff, so great teachers, great staff, and that's really what makes Holt a special place. And if you know anybody in the neighborhood, I always say they're the best ones to ask about what kind of a school we are. But we're going to have Megan talk about counseling a little bit.
All right. Well, that's me. I am Megan Travis, and I feel so lucky to be at this school. We have such a great team. We all really collaborate, which is really helpful, especially for new kiddos coming into Holt. Mr. Chin, can you go to the next slide, please? Or Miss McManus?
Yep.
So some things we try to focus on with kiddos are friendships and relationships. A lot of them, anxiety. I'm going to skip right to the bottom. Anxiety and stress is a pretty big one right now. So we have a lot of like one-on-ones that we do, or I'll bop into classes and try to give strategies. Self-esteem, relationships, and just kind of understanding how to be a kid. We also collaborate with families. So if your kiddo's having a hard time at school, if they're having a hard time with academics, we can work to give strategies for that. We have different plans that can actually follow your kiddos through their academic career. We try to figure out how your kiddo learns the best and set them up for success. We also try to really communicate with teachers and you, and just keep everybody in the loop. So if you ever need to get a hold of me, I'm pretty easy to get a hold of, and I'm happy to do one-on-one conferencing. And we can also connect you with community and school resources. So I talked about it a little bit, but the individual support and that relationship building is probably my favorite part of the job, just to help kiddos who maybe need a little more help just getting comfortable at school or making friends. We have a lot of kids that move in here. We did have some kiddos that moved from, I want to say, Georgia recently. So just getting them hooked up with other families who might have moved here too. Our teachers, like I said, are amazing. And if they notice a kiddo is shy or having some tricky things happening in class, they'll contact me pretty quick. And I can come in, or kiddos can come see me. We have a great team in our classroom. We have our school support coordinator, or school success coordinator, sorry, Kim. And we have our family resource coordinator, our behavior specialist. We're all in one big classroom. So it's kind of like a community family style when you walk in. And there's lots of different opportunities to build relationships. And yeah, thank you. I could go on. I just absolutely love it at Holt. So, and this is my contact info if you ever need me. Thank you.
All right. And then we have other Kim here to talk us about the PTO.
I will already apologize now if you hear two girls screaming. They're in the bathtub, so don't mind that. I promise. Nothing serious going on. So Holt Elementary PTO, we are a new nonprofit as of December 2023. And we went that way because we love having the flexibility to help use our funds in better ways to support our teachers and our staff and our community ultimately. We help oversee a lot of the volunteer opportunities that happen within the school. If we just started a room parent program this year where we have a designated room parent or a couple room parents for every teacher. So they're a liaison between the PTO group and helping fulfill and get their needs met within the classroom. We are going away from one large fundraiser to a few smaller fundraisers to kind of help us meet our financial goals. So our fall fundraiser, we did a penny wars, and our next fundraiser is our silent auction that's happening during our Bertha's birthday bingo bash. We're celebrating Bertha Holt's birthday on February 4th and are doing a bingo bash with a silent auction. And then ultimately our largest fundraiser is our Hobart Jogathon. We also provide, I want to say it's about 48 to 50 volunteers for the annual field day at the end of the year. We support the OBOB competition. We oversee the Book Nook. There's a lot that we just help coordinate throughout the year for the school to give them a really fun environment to help that. And then all the money that we do fundraise really goes directly back to the school. A lot of it is enrichment. The funds really help cover majority of the field trips that happen throughout the year. The cost of transportation has significantly increased in the last few years. So we're kind of been rebranding, rebuilding these last years since COVID. There's been, I remember as going into kindergarten with my little, we were still on a only necessary volunteers within the building. We still had restrictions of like who could come. And so it's kind of nice that we can have more volunteers helping out in different ways in the school. And then we really opened up with the school being community. We have our spring carnival, we have our bingo night. And then we turn around, we also do help with the food drives to help feed students over winter and spring break that rely on the free breakfast and lunch services. So that's kind of what we do and where we're going. So if you have any questions, my email is there and I am happy to be a part of it. And I just want to point out on this picture, that is Mr. Chin being turned into an ice cream sundae last year for the fundraising goal of reaching $30,000 during our Holt Bowl last year. So
That was pretty sticky. All right. And so a couple of things I just want to say on the kindergarten. I'm going to let Robin talk a little bit more about this. So we currently have 4 kindergarten classes. Sometimes some years it's 3. This year it's 4. We always try to protect our kinder classes and keep them small if we can. In a lot of the time, they try to teach in small groups with kids, because kids come into kindergarten with varying levels. Some are reading, some have never touched a book before. So we try to meet kids wherever they're at. And a big focus at kindergarten is really just that community building, helping kids learn how to do school. And, we definitely love parent volunteers, but I'm going to let Robin kind of talk about sort of what a kindergarten day looks like and some of the curriculum.
Okay. So as you can see, we do a lot in kindergarten. I'll talk a little bit more detail about literacy and math. Mr. Chin said earlier, we have music and PE, and that's twice a week for each of those. The kids really love that. Art we do across the curriculum. So we might do an art project that has to do with what we're learning about in math or reading at the time, social studies, science, and then social studies, we focus a lot on community in kindergarten. Let's see, science, we do a fun unit with trees and weather, and then we have a motions unit and a little critter unit at the end of the year. Technology, we have iPads one-on-one, like Mr. Chin said, a little less in kindergarten, but we do have some apps that the kids can show what they know and kind of start learning how to create things using technology. For library, we go once a week where we get a library lesson and we get to check out books, and learning library skills. Social skills happens all day long in kindergarten. And health, we focus on taking care of ourselves, healthy food, being healthy, and that happens throughout the year. And then we always have a calm body time each day after lunch where we kind of rest, reset for the afternoon, listen to stories. They can close their eyes if they want to, but about 10-15 minutes, we just calm our bodies and get ready for the rest of our learning. And of course, lunch and recess, it's 20 minutes a piece. All right, perfect. So literacy, you can see we do a lot of things. Read alouds, guided reading, shared reading, interactive writing. All of that is in our literacy block. Also some journal writing. In kindergarten, we learn to write a sentence or two about something we've read. It's amazing what they learn to do by the end of the year. And we'd also focus on, you see the 5 pillars of reading. Phonemic awareness is being able to hear and manipulate sounds. Phonics, so that's like letter sounds. We do all of that all year long. Vocabulary development with our stories and our read alouds. Reading fluency, so when they do start reading sight words and consonant, vowel consonant words like cat, dog, then we work on being able to read them more quickly. And then reading comprehension strategies we work on when we do our read alouds and whole group and whatnot. So I feel like I'm rushing. Okay, math. So we're in the middle of an adoption year right now. We're going to have a new math curriculum, which I think we're all really excited about next year. Lots of hands-on learning. Game play is really big in our room. So we might do rolling dice to add them and moving them on a game board, but we usually try and keep it fun and interactive as much as possible. Videos, for example, in my classroom, when we count to 100, we don't just sit and count. We get up and move and dance and count to a fun song. Conceptual. I maybe should have looked at these a little more closely. Yeah, so fluency with, right now my class is working on addition within 5 and 10. And so we're just, instead of just drilling them, the 1 + 1 is 2, we do a lot of movement. I might have a bunch of equations around the room, and they take their little clipboards and they have a paper to record their answers on. They love it. But yeah, working on the fluency and getting those math concepts down. We also have a lot of math discussions. So we talk about numbers, we talk about equations, and how did I know that 3 + 5 is 8? And so we do a lot of math talking. You can see the standards on your right-hand side. So counting, teen numbers, recognizing numbers, adding and subtracting, comparing numbers, measurable attributes, and shapes. So those are all of the concepts we cover in kindergarten. Okay. I touched on this a little bit, but these are the science units I think I already mentioned. So usually we focus on trees and weather in the fall, move into materials and motion, and then do animals at the end of the year. Oh my goodness. So much. As I said before, social, emotional, social skills is something that we focus on all day in kindergarten. We have actual curriculums that help us, and one of them is Second Steps. And you can see that skills for learning, empathy, emotion management, problem solving. So that's like, if I have a problem, how am I going to solve it? Giving them the tools so that they're not just figuring these things out on their own. They have some tools in their tool belt. We have skills as kind of an older one that I actually don't currently use that one. So I think that's maybe old Mr. Chin on the slide.
I think Leslie maybe uses it.
Maybe, yeah. Classroom, school-based. So each morning we have a morning meeting where we greet each other. We have a little activity. We might have a share around to build some community in the classroom. And then we have a frog named Kelso, and he kind of helps with those problem-solving skills when kids do have problems. We listen to stories about Kelso and how he solves problems. PBIS is a school-wide program. It's positive behavior support. And so it's just really focusing on those positive behaviors and good choices that kids are making. Purposeful play. We will often teach some kind of skill and then send them off to play and practice that skill together. And then conscious discipline, also another great program. And there's actually a parent component that you can come and learn about with that one too. So.
And this is me again. I'll take over.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. You can take it. You can take a glass of water now. All right. But yeah, so if parents ever want to be involved, just know you can help with our parent group through the PTO, classes, a lot of classes do like reading rotations. So that's a place parents can always help out leading a small group. Same thing, math stations. A lot of teachers do that as well in small groups. There's always special days and activities, field trips. That's something we always need parent help on. And also just if you wanted to help with prep work, we can do that. Library needs volunteers, and then smart readers are starting up again. That's something we can always use more volunteers for, just reading with usually kinder or first graders. We have parents or community volunteers, a lot of times retired teachers who want to come and just read with kids and be like a big buddy and help kids with reading. And then to do any of those, you always have to pass a background check before we allow volunteers in. It usually takes a week or two for that to happen. And then just to mention a couple highlights about the building, we have classroom neighborhoods. If you were here to see it, we kind of have like pods for each grade level. So there's like 6 classrooms kind of clustered together. And then there's like an open area in the middle where we can do small groups, or we can do like a larger activity if we want to do something, or like have presenters where all the classes can come out and see someone. So that's kind of a nice way the building's set up. We also have the great library space, and behind the building we have a school garden. There's also another courtyard behind the building, which is nice, we can utilize. And then also the building just has a lot of windows, so there's a lot of nice use of natural light. We had a power outage a couple years ago, and we're still able to function and go pretty well just because we had so much light. And also the building just has some nice security features throughout. Like the only way you can get into the building is if you have a badge, and to badge into the building. So the doors are just kept locked at all the time, and all visitors can only enter through the front office. And we have like a security vestibule in there as well. So it's a very secure building, which is really nice. All right. And so this is where we normally tour the school, but we're not at the school for the virtual presentation. But I don't know if you had any questions for us or anything.
Yeah, sure. Let's see. You mentioned 20 minutes for recess and 20 minutes for lunch. Does lunch have any associated outdoor playtime, or is cafeteria and then
Yeah.
regular schedule?
Yep. So they get 20 minutes lunch, and then they get a 20-minute lunch recess. So 20-minute morning
Okay.
recess, 20-minute lunch, 20-minute lunch recess. And kindergarten actually has a third recess.
Oh, that's really nice. Okay, cool. And I had one more question about just general school communication. Is there a weekly newsletter or anything that goes out? What's your primary method of communicating with the families?
Yeah, so classroom teachers send out newsletters, and then I send out a weekly newsletter. And if you want to see a sample of those, they're all archived on the school website.
Okay, fair enough. That's all I had in mind, but thank you for the presentation.
Yeah, no, thank you for coming out. And if you think of any other questions later, feel free to email me. All of our contact, or any of us, our contact information is all on the school website there. So, and then those are all our social media links if you ever want to check that out. That's where we kind of put a little bit more fun stuff. All right, well, thank you for coming, and hopefully we'll see you in the fall.
Thank you. Have a great one.
All right, bye-bye.